My son asked a question in church that made the priest turn red. We were sitting in the front row during Sunday Mass when Father McKenna started his sermon about the importance of honesty and telling the truth. My 6-year-old son Tommy had been fidgeting all morning, but he was actually paying attention to the sermon. Father McKenna was talking about how lying is a sin and how we should always be truthful with God and each other. Tommy raised his hand like he was in school. Father McKenna, probably thinking it was cute, called on him. "Yes, young man? Do you have a question?" Tommy stood up and said in his loudest voice, "Father, if lying is a sin, why did you tell my mom you were sick last week when I saw you at McDonald's with Mrs. Henderson?" The entire church went dead silent. I wanted to crawl under the pew and disappear forever. Father McKenna's face turned bright red, and he started stammering something about having a recovery meal after being ill. But Tommy wasn't done. "And Mrs. Henderson was feeding you French fries, and you were laughing a lot. My mom said you were too sick to do the church picnic planning meeting." I tried to pull Tommy down, but he kept going. "Also, you said McDonald's food was unhealthy during your sermon about taking care of our bodies, but you had a Big Mac and a milkshake." By now, the entire congregation was either trying not to laugh or whispering to each other. Mrs. Henderson, who was sitting 3 rows back, looked like she wanted to evaporate. Father McKenna attempted damage control. "Sometimes when we're recovering from illness, we need comfort food, and Mrs. Henderson was kind enough to accompany me." Tommy tilted his head and said, "But you were holding hands across the table. My dad only holds hands with my mom. Are you married to Mrs. Henderson?" That's when I finally managed to pull Tommy down and whisper that we'd talk about this later. Father McKenna tried to continue his sermon about honesty, but kept stumbling over his words. Half the congregation was staring at Mrs. Henderson, who had turned the same shade of red as the priest. The awkwardness reached peak levels when Tommy whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear, "Mom, why is everyone acting weird? I just asked a question." Old Mrs. Patterson in the second row actually started giggling, which set off a chain reaction of suppressed laughter throughout the church. After church, Father McKenna pulled me aside and explained that he and Mrs. Henderson were indeed dating, and they'd been keeping it quiet while he considered leaving the priesthood. "Your son has quite the memory for detail," he said, still embarrassed. "Maybe I should practice what I preach about honesty." The next Sunday, Father McKenna addressed the congregation directly about his relationship status and his plans for the future. He thanked Tommy for reminding him about the importance of honesty. 3 months later, Father McKenna announced he was leaving the church to get married. Tommy was invited to the wedding and proudly told everyone he was the one who helped them stop lying about being loved. Tommy also became something of a celebrity among the church kids for being the boy who made Father McKenna turn red and tell the truth. Mrs. Henderson still laughs about it and says Tommy should become a detective when he grows up because he notices everything adults try to hide. The best part was that Tommy's innocent question actually helped 2 people find the courage to be honest about their relationship and pursue real happiness together. Now, whenever Tommy asks an uncomfortable question in public, people joke that he's just being a truth-telling angel sent to keep everyone honest. Sometimes kids are the best truth detectors we have.